Good evening and welcome to the Cover One Buffalo podcast. You are joining your host, Greg Tompsett, along with my undefeated 1-0, never a doubt in his mind co-host, Aaron Quinn. Aaron, what a boring game.
I got borderline Nate Geary tonight on Twitter of like, I was about to rip into the entire organization about an hour ago. I was going to come on here and just
about the surrender punt. We had a surrender punt.
Yeah.
We were down 2 scores and we punted.
Yeah. I was just talking to producer Colin off air here. We were off air not very long, getting ready to go back on. And you hopped in and it's like, we're kind of trying to figure out what happened. I think tonight is just like, hey, let's figure it out together. I got notes. I saw it, what we just watched, and I still not totally sure on how it all happened. So I can't wait to walk back through this.
I'm not right now. Like I'm pretty sure my mom and dad are probably watching. I'm not okay.
Yeah.
I have unsustainable heart rates right now. Things are not well. I told Aaron we had to hurry up and start the show because I might not make it through the whole show.
Like I said, though, it's because I don't know about the rest of you, but I went from like an hour ago, my posture was like sloped into the chair, thinking of like, I got to do an hour at least of talking about how mad I am at everybody. And then all of a sudden, just like they did all the things and it wasn't even pretty along the way. Like they got some luck. They made like Baltimore fans got to just be livid right now because it doesn't feel really like the Bills. It feels like they stole one here. They just stole one from them.
We stole that
Holy
game.
cow.
They thoroughly outplayed us.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to apologize for any of this. There were some like infuriating things in this game tonight. Some defense that people deserve to be really, really mad about.
Yeah, there's some real big concerns. Yeah.
We're 1-0.
Unbelievable, man. Yeah, it's and the sides of the ball are like a tale of two, because I was like, again, that hour ago or so, I was equally also mad. I think I put out a tweet of like, hey, remind myself not to forget to yell at the offense for some of this. Even though they had scored 25 points at that point, I was still frustrated. And then, but they really had a really good game. When we look at these statistics, the offense looked great and the defense looked terrible. But then the defense came up with some of the biggest plays of the game to get you back where you had to be. It's a weird one. It's mind numbing.
The only one.
It's going to be a fun Monday though.
Ed Oliver was a monster.
Insane.
In this game. He deserves no blame. Like,
no.
There are lots of people. There may be 10. Honestly, maybe 10 other defenders.
In fact, he probably deserves some apology letters from some people from the internet for like how dominant he was tonight.
Monster.
How about hats off to Matt Prater?
Oh God, Matt Prater.
Dude.
I'm not
41-year-old.
This isn't even tongue in cheek. I don't care if Tyler Best stays on IR for the season. Like I was going to say it jokingly and tongue in cheek.
If Prater's ready, if he can go. I mean, I'm glad he was here today because running out like that's no joke, and you have to having a seasoned vet ready to go out and make that kick, even though it's a short kick. But hats off to him. It's also weird now that
all of his kicks were no doubters, down the middle.
They said it before the game that he's like the oldest person to ever wear a Bills uniform, and that makes me feel bad because he's exactly my age. So that was a moment of like, oh,
that's awesome.
Yeah. But good for him though, being that age, coming out of retirement, staying healthy, coming out, getting the big one to win. What a welcome to Western New York for Prater. But hats off to him for coming in off the street like that and hitting a big one. Good moment for him.
All right, a couple of these super chats are killer. Our guy
Let's get it in.
Always here for us. Is
my man.
Did it, you crazy son of a beep! You did it. My wife is worried for my health. If my wife was awake right now, she'd be worried for my health. But she wouldn't.
My wife has no idea.
Definitely went to sleep thinking this was a blowout for the Ravens for sure. She's going to wake up in the morning and find out that we won. I almost puked 7 times right there with you. Spot on.
Oh my God.
Let's see. RC's Auto, it feels weird to win the possible game of the year in an instant classic. Yes, we're always at the other end of these. We are always on the losing end of these. We even had another ridiculous DeAndre Hopkins catch. Like there were so many, like, here we go again moments, like the not keeping contained on Lamar, the freight train of Derrick Henry, the crazy catch from DeAndre Hopkins.
I felt like it was going to be almost like a 50-20 something game.
I was worried it was going to get like real ugly, real ugly. Because
it was trending that way.
Yeah, run defense can go real bad that direction. Oh, scoreagami, those are fun. So the NFL's never had a 41-40 game before. Neat. I like
Well,
those.
a little bit because they took 2 points away from the Bills, but we'll talk about that when we get there.
Yeah, we'll get into some of the things in the game theory decisions. The results were bad. The decisions, honestly, were pretty good, even to the point where we missed some of the decision making on the results and the 2-point conversions earlier were bad, and it made us not go for one
Yeah.
later that we should have
Probably
because we
right.
missed the first two. I hate that, but we'll get to that. It was it was just a missed call, the same as the slide. Like nobody was up to get us. That we got away with the DPI that was pretty bad. Josh's slide was a first down. Keon Coleman was pushed out of bounds. And when you're pushed out of bounds, you are allowed to reestablish yourself and be the first one to catch the ball. He was super clearly pushed out of bounds. Eagles, Eric, which super random.
Yeah, thanks for being here, dude.
Great,
Big fan.
great follow on Twitter. One of the better new analytics guys out there. But do you guys realize the winning field goal was tipped by Kyle Hamilton?
I mean, it looked like it was close
pretty quickly. All right,
I did not
one
see
of the
that.
super chats here. Theontopoulos. I'm probably going to say something. He's going to get me to say something I shouldn't. I need to work first thing in the morning. I freaking love you guys. I'm not sleeping. Let's go. I'm here for it. Can't believe this is freaking real. Keep up the amazing work. Yeah, it doesn't really matter because everyone's adrenaline spiked so much at the end of the game that you're not going to be able to sleep anyways. Yes. You might as well come hang out with us.
Honestly, I was like, I'm so hopped up on allergy medicine right now and was like falling asleep at one point in this game. And then that spike in like Josh Allen adrenaline rush dopamine plays hit me so hard that I'll probably be awake for the next 4 hours just retweeting some of the crazy plays of this game, man. And just again, this is one of the few times, Greg, that I've come into a post-game show being like, how did this, like, I'm really excited to go through this game again and remember how it happened because it felt like it was like getting away from us for a minute.
Oh my God, look what producer Colin's putting up in the scroll at the bottom. Josh Allen, 33 of 46 for 394 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 30 yards rushing, and 2 rushing touchdowns.
That's Madden. That's people playing Madden on
Keon
the internet.
Coleman, 8 catches for 112 and a touchdown. Ed Oliver, 6 tackles, a sack, and the forced fumble of the game.
Yeah.
All right.
There's a lot.
Let's go through a little bit of the numbers here. I just rattled off Josh's element, but in case you have been listening up to this point and are unaware of what happened for the first 7 minutes, the Buffalo Bills somehow scored 22 points in the fourth quarter to defeat the Baltimore Ravens 41-40 at the with 4 minutes left in this game. The Bills were down by 15 points, 40-25. With 4 minutes left in this game, they were down 40-25. Mm-hmm. They scored a touchdown, got a 3-and-out, scored another touchdown, missed the 2-point conversion, got another 3-and-out, and then kicked the game-winning field goal.
No, there's a fumble in there. The Henry.
Oh, sorry, the fumble. Sorry, the first of the after the first touchdown, down 15, they got the fumble, scored another touchdown. Somehow went for 2 and is like, oh crap, we're not. It's gonna be. At that point, I was kind of like, oh crap, this is gonna be kind of fun, but all for naught. And then got the 3-and-out and made them choose to punt it back to us. One of those ultimate, the true analytics is do what the other team's fans don't want you to do. I did not want them to go for it. I was petrified they were going to go for it on fourth down. I couldn't believe they punted it back to us.
Same. I think this is probably the argument of people in both the fan bases probably have some arguments against their head coaches in situations like this. But I do think that it's not abnormal in the league. And we haven't been in these situations a lot again this year. And we'll remember once a bunch of coaches get in them and do the questionable thing in that tight moment of the thing that the other fan base doesn't want you to do. Yeah, I was nervous they were going to go for it and I mean, I would take my chances with Lamar Jackson, just like put the ball in his hands and see what you can get from there. Like, I thought we gave him too many yards on that third down. So, yeah, I mean, Harbaugh has been known for it, and McDermott's similar cloth. McDermott probably had some we'd be much more mad at here today.
Yeah. If McDermott had punted there, I'd be livid.
Yeah, we had a punt. Before all the fun happened.
I tweeted that we had a surrender punt. I couldn't believe it. That, oh my God, I can't believe this game is so out of hand. Then I think like it's very fitting for the performance we had up to that point. And it felt very defeating, very deflating. Ben Squares. So so much to pick apart. So many bounces went our way late. There's some bounces that didn't go our way early.
Oh, for sure.
Like that ridiculous sack that Bosa and Rousseau had on Lamar that he somehow got out of, and then the next play.
Oh my God,
that
is how other fan bases feel watching Josh. And I felt that for a second. I was like, oh, I don't like how that feels.
Yeah, I don't know. It's fun when Josh does it. It's not fun when other people do it to us.
I mean, speaking of which
awesome.
here, Greg, if I would have told you, if we came on here and we're reading through stats, if I would have told you the opposing team was quarterback 14 for 19, 209, 2 touchdowns, and that their leading rusher was 18 carries, 169 yards, and 9.4 also for 2 touchdowns, you would have assumed the Bills got blown out, right?
I would have assumed you were talking about like an old school New Orleans Saints game where the team probably ran for like 280, and it was just
super efficient QB play.
Yeah,
it wasn't good enough.
Lamar. Yeah, oh my God,
can't let the ball get on the ground, man.
All right. So beyond Josh's passing, which obviously was, not inflated, but an awful lot of that in the fourth quarter as they were scrambling for the comeback. The run game was not all that strong today. They stayed pretty consistent to it early. Cook ended up with 13 carries for 44 yards. Ty Johnson had the one early that was actually kind of like one of those push passes on a jet sweep that counted as a run, but it wasn't really. And another one that was a swing pass. So it wasn't, some of that was the 17-yarder. We had the quick one to Elijah Moore that was nice to see mixed in there. And then Josh ended up with 14 for 30. And I would say at least 3 of those were the kneel downs at the end. Another 3 or 4 that were like attempted tush, which again, side note, the tush push was incredibly poor today.
Not great. Were like not
1
great
for
start.
4. Yeah. 1 for 3 for sure.
The jump,
maybe 1 for
the jump's all that worked.
Correct. Sorry. So 1 genuine tush push.
Yeah.
And then 1 kind of fake that he jumped up over.
Yeah.
That worked, but it wasn't because the tush push got stuffed 2 of the other 2 times.
No. Yeah. The run game was tough though, because it felt like early they just couldn't get into a rhythm. So when you're going 3 and out, you don't have a lot of plays to like establish that type of run game, where the Ravens were the opposite early on, where they were rattling off 6 to 10 play drives consistently. Bills were going 3 and out multiple times in that first half, and then you're down. And it's sort of like, I even thought they leaned into the run a little heavy for me.
Yeah,
like I was getting antsy for a little bit in the second half. Like, why are we still handing the ball off? Let Josh kind of cook. But I mean, it ended up working. They were able to chip away and get back in it. I think the run game for the Bills this year, they have to keep going to it to at least have the deception of the play action, because they want to go to that. That was my only thought, is they want to keep that in play.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, there's a lot of elements to it. We'll talk about it here in a second when we get to the drives. But some of the sequencing was a little weird. And then once the game
like running on hand, second and long,
it didn't matter. And I fully expect there to be a rematch with Baltimore. There is no team. We've talked about this a lot in other matchups and other things. There is no team in the NFL that is more influenced and benefited from positive game script. Like, the Baltimore Ravens are the best front running team in the NFL. Like, I guess you can make an argument for Philly, but when you have that kind of two-headed attack in the run game and that big mauling offensive line, you have to get out in front. So we'll talk about that second drive here in a moment, but you have to stay ahead of them and get the game script in your favor if you want to be able to go shot for shot with them.
Yeah.
The receiving, obviously, I think, again, there was so much scramble drill stuff at the end that there's some pretty gaudy numbers. 33 catches for 394 yards overall. Yep. Keon Coleman, 8 for 112 and a touchdown. Khalil Shakir, 6 for 64. Tell everybody what you tweeted about Josh Palmer, because was that in the fourth quarter or was that late third?
It was at the end, the first play, or the play before the end of the third quarter. And he did generate a DPI. Somebody was in my mentions that he did. Right. That was a good. I wasn't counting that because it wasn't actually like a receiving play. Matt Collins also got a DPI every play. I'm hoping Palmer's more than that, right? And so that was where my tweet was. But then beyond that, he got some nice touches at the end. He got going a little bit, and that was a really positive sign to see. He had obviously the big one down the stretch, but it was until late into the third that I was like, oh yeah, Josh Palmer, like what? But it was sort of tongue in cheek, Greg, because we got on here on Wednesday, and my whole thing was like, hey, let's attack those corners and see if they can match Keon's physicality, see if Palmer can really be a part of this offense. And it felt like it took 3 quarters for them to really, they were trying to test the middle. Ravens were taking that away, and they didn't have that like curveball to go to early in the game. And I thought they should have gone to it earlier. It'll be interesting. That's going to be interesting to watch the tape on this and see were those guys winning those matchups early, and Josh just wasn't going to them. It took them a while to get into the game and trust in those guys. Because once they did, they started moving the ball with ease, and that's a good sign going forward. But hard to know how much of that's like them playing prevent and what type of defense.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird garbage time stuff in here, but I don't care. It counts.
Hey, it worked.
So from that point on, Josh Palmer ended up with 5 for 61, including a critical 32-yarder that he ended up getting that put us into the game-winning field goal position with a crazy honey hole shot from Josh Allen, putting it over there in the corner, over the outstretched arms of Jair Alexander, who obviously was a late signee with the Ravens after some talk of Bills fans wanting to go after him.
He had a tough day.
You could tell he was still working his way back into definitely a mixed bag. James Cook 5 for 58 with a huge one that he almost scored on, ended up breaking that one loose. Dalton Kincaid 4 for 48 and a touchdown, a lot of early targets, but also shout out Dalton Kincaid had at least 4 different times that I noted really impressive blocking highlights, like where I noticed him blocking. I don't remember that maybe ever.
And being willing,
and
getting
4
in
the
there.
first game. Bravo.
Yep. And that one catch in traffic was a big boy NFL catch. Like people that are worried. The one where he got hit like at the goal line going, I think they didn't rule it a touchdown. It was like down at the 1. But he got smacked when he grabbed that one. And it's just good to see him make those big types of catches. I think that they tried to get him going a little bit in that screen game early when they were kind of going into those 3 and outs, which I don't know that I love him there. But I do like him up the seam, hitting him. It looked pretty decent. But Keon, one thing too, Keon and Palmer, you talked about that James Cook one, dude. Roll back the tape and watch those guys blocking downfield. There's so much space for Cook to just juke the one guy in space because the wide receivers were downfield blocking that entire time. Really good play by those guys in there as well. They don't get that. That doesn't show up in the stat sheet for them, but that is what the Bills coaches want to see. That's why guys like Palmer and dudes like Keon are gone after by the Bills.
Yeah. I also, shout out to Jackson Hawes. His first catch as a professional was a big time play, 29 yards down the field, down the seam, bobbled catch in coverage. Like, credit to him. Way to come up with the ball. I want to say good for Josh, but kind of weird that you trusted our tight end 3 in pretty tight coverage.
Honestly, I hope this is his thing where like he only gets like 1 or 2 balls thrown away, but they're big plays. And like he just makes a big play and everyone's like, dude, we need more of this, but it can't be for good sure and more.
I'm really sad because I'm going to tee you up for a you're not old enough thing. But for me and for people of my age will remember Butch Roll, who was like only would catch 1-yard play action touchdowns. Like that's literally the only thing. Like I think he had a season with something stupid like 8 touchdowns, and I think he had like 17 catches on the season or something crazy. I would be cool if that's what Spencer Hawes' new role is. The offensive line, I'm gonna say, was okay. I think we had a couple penalties. We gave up some pressure that, of course, Josh saved them from. The box score is going to tell you we had 1 sack for 5 yards, but Josh was running around for his life a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, they were solid. I don't think it was a bad game. I don't think that he was like a magician back there. We've had worse games, but he definitely saved them from quite a bit. I think this was probably below average for their standards, but it was probably fine overall.
Yeah, I think there's some getting into shape happening for some of this first unit as well. You saw towards the end, they were talking about Spencer Brown cramping and needing some work done as they were like kneeling down and stuff and just finishing out that game. That to me says a guy like him who didn't get to play a whole lot in the offseason is still working his way into shape. So I'm sure that's true for a number of guys, and probably the bigger guys take a little longer, especially when they're not getting the reps of a full real game. And this was a physical game to start your season with. Like you didn't get to come out and just kind of half-ass it tonight. They were met with physicality early. I think they matched it at times in this game. You saw it with like, it wasn't super efficient in the run game, but Spencer Brown was moving people around. There was clips of Deion Dawkins tossing people around, so you still saw all the good stuff you like to see, but the cohesion's not there totally yet. But I saw some good things. You saw Torrance on that James Cook touchdown, just clear a path there. So they won a number of one-on-ones. I think that's only going to improve. They'll ramp up slowly like a big old diesel truck. It takes a little to get going, but it'll get moving.
Yeah. On the defensive side, I don't know that there's a ton of shout outs or anything.
Ed Oliver all day.
Ed Oliver is the only one really that
Bosa looked decent. And he played a lot more than I thought with them only going with the 4 edge players.
High snap rate. Obviously, rightfully was called out for 2 horrible reads on the read option where he bit badly, which Lamar does to everyone.
He's not the athlete that you want with a misstep on him. It's going to look bad if he has one misstep. He
made a great play with it later.
Times. Yeah,
made a great play with it later. Had multiple pressures and was in on one of the sacks.
Caused a couple sacks.
Yeah, got credited elsewhere. And the one I'm not going to blame him at all for the one that Lamar had his Houdini play, because Lamar's freaking awesome. And that was an amazing play that could have been TJ Watt or Myles Garrett or anyone. And Lamar was just amazing on that play. And that's a one of one. I honestly, that's one of the few plays that Josh doesn't have the short area quickness.
No, Josh would run over you and then get 8 yards.
Correct. He might have stiff armed a guy down into the ground, but that is a one of one play that Lamar's the only player in the league.
He did it to Milano years ago, where Milano was in space and he juked him out, and it's just that's not good. I think overall he played well for me, considering how much they played him and relied on him. So that told me a couple things about where they believe Bosa's at to give him the workload in a real physical game like this. And so that to me feels like a good sign for him, even though, but he also had one where it's tackle for loss, fumble, right? Where he poked it out. It was going to be their tackle for loss, and he poked it out and it ended up being a 15-yard loss. So his havoc, I think, will stand out in a game like this, where maybe he's not on the stat sheet a ton. I think he made a lot of impact plays in this game. Yeah.
A couple nuggets here from producer Colin. Josh in his post-game presser saying, hey, welcome to Buffalo, baby, from Matt Prater. Quite an intro. A nice next-gen stat here that Colin found. The Bills had a win probability of 1.1% with 8:37 remaining in the fourth quarter, trailing 40-25. The most improbable comeback in Allen's career, and 13th most improbable comeback by any team over the last decade. That was pretty ridiculous. That was a ridiculous one.
Yeah, my comment.
Buffalo Bills going undefeated, and we're going to the Super Bowl. Yeah,
that was my immediate
with
response.
That kind of luck. Yeah,
so as soon as it happened, my phone exploded, and I got 12 text messages immediately, and my response to everyone was the exact same copy and paste. Is Team of Destiny. We're going to the freaking Super Bowl. We're going to win the Super Bowl. That's how seasons like this happen.
Tell me otherwise right now.
That's how it works. We did not deserve this game. We did not deserve this game, and we still won. We're going to win the Super Bowl. That's how this works.
I don't think there's a lot of teams. I know it's week 1. Everything's wonky. Nobody is who we think they are. But the Ravens are going to be one of the best teams when it's all settled.
Awesome.
They're
going to boat race so many teams. They're going to put up 40 and they're going to put up some 50 burgers. They're going to boat race so many teams.
Yes, they're so pissed right now because they've actually played the Bills really well twice and lost both
the last 2 games, both of them,
and have played very well and good enough to win. And just didn't put him away. And I know that feeling from years of being on the other side of these with teams. And so, my heart goes out to guys like Cole Jackson, our Ravens friend, tonight, because Ravens Twitter's got to be in shambles right now.
Oh my gosh. I saw our guy Dom here saying the drunkest game I've ever seen. That's saying something, because Dom's even older than I am.
You could probably kick him back.
Insanity. You guys must be so happy you don't have to whine all show. Now, I can't tell you how much I was dreading doing the post-game show when it was 40-25.
Yes. Yeah, I was honestly coming on to really just okay, I get it's week 1, but I'm going to rip into, I had a dissertation list. I was just going to start ripping into people, and I still will throughout the week. Sure. When I cut up tape, I'm going to remember some of the stuff. I was I meant to yell at this guy more in the post-game show. But right now I'm still a fan, and the euphoria of what we just experienced overwhelms all the rational things I actually wanted to get off my chest tonight.
Yeah, unbelievable. Unbelievable.
So
All
on the
right.
defensive side, though, we didn't talk about any in the back seven in terms of stats. Was there anything positive to take away from? I mean, you know what I didn't like at all, just from an optics view, was I think somebody made the comment here, and I apologize that I didn't like it earlier to pull it up, but that seeing Dorian Strong wearing number 43 and running around made me kept thinking he was Terrell Bernard, and I was like, oh wait, no, he's 8, and why is 8 look so slow tonight? And like, why is 8 running like that? Yeah, so it felt weird that from an optic standpoint watching the back seven.
Yeah. Another nugget from Colin. Ravens are the first team in NFL history to score 40 plus, rush for 235 plus, and lose. The previous teams doing that were 277 and 0.
You hate to be on those.
277 and 0.
Those statistics are the worst. You're the first team to ever do something no one's ever blown.
No one's ever done
this so bad that you beat a team so bad and still lost. Congratulations. You're the first.
God. It's unbelievable.
Man, that's tough. Tough flight home for Baltimore.
Yeah. Oh my God. The longest hour and a half flight in history.
Honestly, it's got to be just quiet. Like
dead silence.
How did we do that?
Like the first person who talks gets punched in the mouth by Derrick Henry.
Oh my God. Oh man.
All right. So when we kick the game off, is pretty encouraging. Got an awesome 50-yard return, or out to the 50th 41-yard return.
Enjoying the new kick returns in action here this weekend.
Yeah, it is fun.
You know,
for anyone who complained about the stupid change of the rules, all the games today, they've made kick returns fun again.
Yeah.
Like kick
Short
returns
fields.
are fun. They figured out a way to make them safer, and they're fun. We see more of them. That's great.
Yeah. Yep. Happy. I'm a happy client.
It's good things.
Yeah.
Working their way down the field, nothing too crazy. Then we did get that
there was an almost interception, which PFF will probably rate as a almost pick, and one of the few blemishes for Josh Allen in this on a 2nd and 7 to
for sure.
Shakir.
Yeah, he had the other one late that Uzie wasn't able to come up with.
Yes,
which is like that's aggressive scramble drill. You're trying to come back from down 2 scores. Like it is what it is.
Yeah.
But that one for the touchdown that he lasered into Dalton Kincaid between 2 awesome safeties.
Yeah.
I think what Chris Collinsworth was calling some hum baby on it. Like that thing was a missile.
Yeah.
Absolute missile.
The whole drive, he was like throwing the fastball. Like, and this is probably the problem of sitting Josh Allen all summer in like real action is I think he was so amped up. And it worked out in this case. He didn't throw that interception. He didn't do anything crazy, but there was no touch on the ball on that first drive. It was just missiles. And you could hear him on the screen. It was the closest thing I've ever seen in my life, Greg, is when Brett Favre was in his prime and like the type of balls that he would throw into space. And again, shout out to Kincaid for being able to come down with that play because that was in tight coverage with good safeties. He took a shot.
Ball assaulted him.
I was going to say
assaulted by the football.
He took a shot from a player, but I honestly think the ball is probably going to leave more. Depending where that ball hit him, might do more damage to him in the morning tomorrow. Have a big welt somewhere.
Yeah, seriously. So the Ravens come right back. A couple, little third down conversions that were kind of frustrating. Moving their way down the field.
But they weren't 3rd and longs. They were all like 3rd and 3s. This positive note,
until we got to the end, and we did get a 5-yard penalty to move it back to 3rd and 7, and then got a sack at Oliver again. Fantastic pass rush right up the middle and kept going hard at him.
Yeah.
And I will say there was probably an opportunity for Lamar to throw it away, but Gregory Rousseau was right there,
right on top of him.
Get his arm up there. He knew that he would put the ball at risk. Forced a long field goal. And like, if I'm going to give anything a hard time early for the offense, it was, I didn't understand the need to do 3 straight runs here. I didn't even mind the 2nd down. So we come out, we're up 7-3. We know how important game script is against the Ravens. You have to get out in front. You have to make them a little bit more one-dimensional. You have to let our pass rush pin their ears back. That's going to work against the majority of teams. We're never going to be some like stout run defending team. We're going to be really good when we have a lead and can make teams try to come from behind. 9-yard run by Cook on 1st down. And then I'm totally fine with 2nd and 1. 2nd and 1, that's a perfectly reasonable run play. It's a great time for play action.
I was going to say, I'd rather take the shot here
That's a
early,
great
like
time for play action. But I could live with it. 2nd and 1 is a perfectly fine time to impose your will. But when you get stuffed the first time and it's now 3rd and 1 and you run a no huddle run out of shotgun, I just stared at the TV like, what did we just give them the ball back for no reason? Like, what are you doing? And then all of a sudden we had the chance to go up 14-3 and get them on their heels and like make them play catch up. And instead we give the ball right back to them. And of course, 11-yard run, 20-yard pass, 17-yard run, 30-yard run, touchdown. Boom. It's 10-7. And it's now, what the hell just
and
happened?
Cole Bishop's
What just
soul is 5 feet into the concrete of
For all the things that people gave a hard time for. I think I saw my cousin Chad in the chat talking about Jabril Peppers better be in Buffalo tomorrow. There's a lot of that on Twitter.
I bet there is.
That for there are legitimate things to give a lot of criticism for.
Yeah.
Getting stiff armed by Derrick Henry in the open field is not one of them. Like, you're on a list of Hall of Fame players. Like, he is a 6'4", 260-pound freight train going full speed directly at you. Him getting stiff armed in the open field is like, that's a nothing burger. Like, don't get me wrong, it would be cool if he tangled up his legs and got him. But like, you're outweighed by 60 pounds and he's got a head of steam. Like, that's not going to go well. And it wouldn't for Jabril Peppers or DeMar Hamlin or Justin Simmons or
Taylor Rapp, even
Jordan Fuller, or Taylor Rapp's a missile. He might be able to shoot through the stiff arm. But yeah, I think also DeMar.
Here, I'm going to actually give a shout out to our guys at William Mattar, because I tweeted it and I tweeted at, and I don't know if they've responded yet because I haven't checked my Twitter. Checking with my friends at William Mattar, if like a 6'4", 250 human throws you, is running at 20 miles an hour and throws you into the ground, is that considered being hurt in a car or by a car? And I was waiting for William to respond because I was just checking for Cole just to see, because to your point, dude, I mean, this is a truck going 20 miles an hour in open field. The problem wasn't the play that Cole Bishop made. The problem was the play that allowing him to get up to full speed by the time he's in open field against a Cole Bishop kind of running sideways at him. Nobody's in that position going to make a good play. We've seen him do it, unfortunately, to Buffalo Bills. But it was more, the problem for Cole now is you have a narrative, and now you have optics to match the narrative, and that's going to be hard for him. He's going to have to play his way into the fan base of playing out of this optics of, now there's a few plays that they've seen where he makes a bad tackle. And I've experienced this of dealing with adequate defensive back play for years, Greg. Once those plays are like seen by people, they're very hard to overcome. It takes a lot of weeks. A lot of
flash plays.
Yes. And some of the best plays by defensive backs are the ones we don't see. And the plays that nobody's going to remember, that he angles took away, that nobody even saw. So he's got some optics, though, after that play to undo, whether or not it's fair criticism.
Yeah, and I would say after tonight, it is fair.
He had a tough night.
It was not great. He was
a lot of people looked slow in the back end of that.
Like defense. There was probably some fine play. Like, so there was probably a decent amount of adequate play. Like completely adequate play. I don't think there was many positive flashes. Maybe there's some we'll see later, taking away some routes, buzzing down in the right areas. I will say the one he's going to get the most crap for, and or McDermott, or I don't know who's going to get blamed for the blitz.
30 yards.
It's because the Ravens ran hurry up and caught us. Like, he wasn't going to blitz from that far away. He hadn't started moving his way up yet. If you remember, like, anyone who wants to go back and watch, it actually caught the broadcast and the announcers by surprise how fast they went up to the line and ran the play. Now, Cole, in hindsight, should have known to call that off and not to keep going. So, like, I guess that's on
or maybe I don't even know. Did he hear the call wrong? Was that not communicated? There's a lot of stuff that goes into this stuff. I don't know what the reason was. It looked off. I think everyone was quick to be like, why would McDermott call a blitz there? I don't know that McDermott wanted any of the execution to look like what we saw. He's gonna be screaming at somebody tomorrow morning.
I'd bet a bunch that they just caught us in bad timing and ran hurry up when we weren't ready, and we were trying to disguise it, and he was going to come up as they came up, but just didn't get a chance to trigger into that area. But it is what it is. So again, now we're down 10-7. We get the ball back, and we have another 3 and out. This time, all 3 passes, and we get the one where Keon had just a blatant drop. I say Keon had a really good game overall. The 2-point conversion was not his fault. He got pushed out of bounds. The initial one was just an ugly drop. He was looking upfield. Anybody who watched the Atlanta game earlier, Bijan Robinson did this twice in the game, where it was an easy catch, but he went to look where he was going to run before he secured the ball. Keon did that today. Then we get a quick one to Josh Palmer, and then we try another quick tight end bubble screen. And we don't get any yards. And now we have another 3 and out, and we're giving the ball back to Baltimore, down 10-7. And of course, Derrick Henry makes us pay immediately.
Yeah, it's the worst. This is the part of the game where I'm feeling like, to the point you had earlier, this is a game that you come out early, you score, you've got to get that game script in your favor. And it feels like you're gonna do that right out of the gate. Your team comes out, the game script looks really nice. I'm fluffing up Joe Brady here on X, and then all of a sudden you're looking and they've flipped it back, and now you're looking back at them like, oh, the game script could flip here in a handful of plays, which it does.
Yeah, just unbelievable to be able to see the whole we dug ourselves here. The next one, so now we're down 17-7. Yeah. We get the ball back here, start moving, get a couple of nice ones going. We get the quick run to Ty Johnson, come right back with the quick jet sweep to Elijah Moore. We have a incompletion, but then come back and get the nice one to Coleman down the side to 17. We get the Dawson Knox play. It was a good little touch for Knox there. Move our way down, and then we're in position where there's honestly just a really nice tackle on Khalil Shakir. I thought that there was some opportunities to try to go downfield, but I don't mind Josh not putting the ball at risk. It kind of seemed like him being mature, but it also was he doesn't throw short of the 6 very often on third down, and this was one where just a good rallying tackle by Baltimore. Prater has to come out for the field goal, and now it's 17-10 instead.
Yeah, that 1 3rd and 3 though, where it was like the Shakir handoff play, and Deion Dawkins just like totally displaced a human being out of the way, was really sweet. And I want to see more of that. We saw, like you mentioned earlier, we saw a handoff to Moore, a handoff to Shakir. Like, if that's been something we've kind of been calling out to get implemented more, and I love it in that short yardage situation type thing. Just again, they were creating some of that early where they were taking an aggressive defense and using it against them in a lot of ways, but then it stalled out in places like here. Yeah, the field goal just feels flat here, and doesn't feel like enough. It's they're reminded of playing against the Kansas City Chiefs, and it's like, yeah, you can't settle for 3 when they're getting 7, is how I felt there.
So now Baltimore's going down. They've
return from them.
Each of the first times they get a big time return, start their own 46, and then right off the bat a 17-yarder for Henry, and it just feels like unstoppable to be able to go through. We actually cause a fumble here, but Justice Hill gets it right back, and then get to where now you get that big loss to where it gets punched out, and at that point, I think that Justice Hill's 15-yard loss on the fumble took their average yards per carry from 11.7 down to only 10 yards per carry. My Cleveland friend group chat was excited about that. We brought their yards per carry down to only 10 yards per carry. It's very nice. We then did get a nice stuff on Zay Flowers. Did a really nice play by Joey Bosa, getting out there in space and being able to make a nice open field tackle. Ed Oliver the same, and hold him to a field goal. And there was, 31 seconds left. And I wasn't expecting a lot, but we started using our timeouts, especially after the 15-yard loss, and got them back. And pretty amazing execution at the end. Josh hitting Shakir for the 26-yarder, then the 22-yard pass to Kincaid.
Literally with a second left. And shout out because I'm going to yell at him a little bit later when we talk about some of the rulings, but shout out to like auto assist and some of the stuff really all weekend, making games more enjoyable, where this doesn't have to be a 8-minute process taken away from the game to figure out how much time's left on the clock. They're like on top of this stuff now. And even some of the replay reviews, the assist reviews, this is making the sport more enjoyable. And they got this ruling in a second back on the clock quick. Wasn't disruptful to the game, wasn't disruptful to the momentum, and allowed Buffalo to come out and feel like you stole some points here and didn't it kind of broke up the double dip a little bit too.
Yeah. So I just had a brilliant idea that you guys need to write down. Someone needs to go find the audio of the ref saying, Baltimore, get back here. Baltimore, hold on. And just play that with the end of game scenario at the end. Somebody clip that and go make that for me. But give me credit. So, and extra shout out to Josh on that one, because they literally dropped 11 guys into coverage.
Yeah.
We had 5 guys running a route with 11 guys covering, and he still found a way to rifle one to Dalton Kincaid, come down in bounds. And
again, shout out to Kincaid,
big, out of bounds,
big time catch.
Yeah,
he's not filling up the stat sheet necessarily big time, but that's still a really good game. But the catches were big; they were big time plays.
Yeah. So yeah, anybody listening that goes and makes that, I'll retweet you to oblivion if you go make that for me.
Yeah.
So now we go in, and honestly, I'm like, all right, honestly, maybe we kind of stole a little bit of momentum. We're going into halftime. We're only down 20-13.
We just need to stop. Just gotta get
deserve to be there. But like, yeah, if we just gonna stop here, we're gonna be all right. No, they come out 4 plays, 65 yards.
Zay Flowers plays. It didn't guard him. They didn't guard Zay Flowers at all on this drive.
We get this, like, we even get like it counted as a sack for Milano, but it was just a tackle for as Lamar scrambled. But we get them to 3rd and reasonably long, and they just lose Zay Flowers on a crosser, and he's running just free through our secondary, and then come right back and hit him for a touchdown the other direction. And I think I remember who someone had a clip that showed, like, on the Zay Flowers touchdown the other direction, the next play, like, our 3 linebackers bit on the fake and play action that way so badly that all 3 of them are like standing right in a row.
Oh yeah.
Beyond the hash on that side as he's running for a touchdown with nobody over there on the other side. It was pretty bad.
Monken did a great job tonight of abusing the Bills' desire to get aggressive against them. Yeah. And a number of
it was Brett Coleman. TP is spot on. It was Brett Coleman who pointed it out.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, but wide open a couple here. That honestly, that 39-yarder is probably a much worse play for Cole than the Derrick Henry one, but the Derrick Henry one will get talked about a lot more.
Yeah, it's a better highlight. But yeah, the 39-yard one, that was just
not great.
He was lost in the sauce. Like, yeah, and I know a lot of fans are just like obviously over dramatic and overreactionary to most things. I don't know that it's crazy to have a serious talk with Jabril Peppers. Like, part of this is you have to decide, hey, are we just going to work our way through growing pains and let him develop and see it? But when we just handed the keys to Terrell Bernard in year 2, you saw it pretty immediately with some flashes. And that's a tough gut call after 5 games last year and 1 game this year. But like, I don't know that it's completely out of pocket to have a phone call with Peppers.
I have my feeling on that for the people that want that is I don't disagree with the logic. I think that the Bills' leash on development is longer than we're going to feel comfortable with.
For sure.
And that I also think they're more comfortable with the idea of DeMar stepping in to play safety than we're comfortable with. Yeah. Just in terms of knowledge of the defense and stuff. I don't know how comfortable they are with dropping it in. And I don't know the point in the season where you have to make this decision to bringing a Jabril Peppers in and how long it takes to acclimate versus how long do you give these development guys. I think it's going to be a conversation we have a lot over the next 8 weeks or so here as the season progresses and they take those lumps. I haven't listened to McDermott's press conference yet, but I'm sure there is a bit of stern conversation about the way the DBs played, but also that they believe in them. And I think that that's true. I think they're going to let mistakes play out a little longer than it feels good for us to see them let the mistakes play out.
Yeah.
Which hurts to
So,
say. It pains me.
You know, and
I hope I'm wrong. I hope tomorrow morning we get rumors of Peppers at Duff's. That'll be a much more exciting
I would love
day.
to tell you you're wrong. They're definitely going to do this, but you're probably right.
It makes sense. I understand people wanting something different than we're seeing. Yeah.
So we'll see where that goes. I think it's unlikely, but we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
All
right. So where were we?
Bills,
27-13.
27-13. We get the ball back.
Not
we
great.
do
4 plays right out of half. Damn.
Yeah, we do answer back pretty well. We get ourselves rolling here with some good run plays for the first time. A couple with Josh for the first time running the ball, picking up some necessary first downs. We get the big DPI
4th and 5.
for Palmer
Huge.
Down the sideline, and then we get the touchdown run from James Cook. And this is where we kick the extra point, then there's a penalty, and this is all hindsight results stuff only. When you get the penalty and you get it to the 1 yard line, you should absolutely go for it. Now, when you go for it, I have no idea why the call was out of shotgun. Like, I have no idea what that possibly was supposed to be. I don't understand why. If the benefit is, you're 1 yard closer now, well, then go for it from the 2 and just run whatever play you're going to run from shotgun. The whole benefit is that you're closer and that you can just do the tush push or just do whatever's there. So I don't really understand, but then it worked because Keon caught the ball, but they incorrectly called him that he went out of bounds on his own, not that Wiggins pushed him out, and Wiggins clearly pushed him out of bounds.
Definitely a spot where you have all these tools now in place to get
really
this
surprised
right. You've gotten a bunch right.
Like, that one should have been on replay. You could see that, he did reestablish himself and was directly pushed.
Yeah, I was disappointed with the lack of ability to correct the officials real time there. And really the lack of conversation about it in the broadcast, even because they did bring somebody back in on the broadcast to explain why the Bills lost the down. And it wasn't
why you wasn't a replay it down.
Which was fine. But then I wanted but then also explain to me why they didn't rule him as established. And we didn't hear Mike Pereira didn't give us a view of his opinion of why that was called one way or if they should have caught that with a replay. So that was definitely a blemish. And it was funny because I honestly was just getting ready to tweet about how happy I was with some of the processes that they've put in place in the NFL, make this a little bit more enjoyable, a little bit quicker, and a little bit more being able to make the right calls. And then they do this, 20 minutes later.
We then finally get a stop. We get a 3 and out for Baltimore for the first time. We see their punter for the first time. We get the
Ed Oliver
5 yard blown
tackle.
up. Ed Oliver with a huge TFL, and then get the Bateman can't make the catch on the play down the sideline. That was the one where they probably were rightfully
got away.
Yeah, we had Benford had his hand in Bateman's collar on the way down.
They made up for it later. They got away with one later.
Correct. But that one they were right to be mad about. That one was correct to be angry.
Sure.
And unfortunately, this is maybe the first time the offense really came up short. We gave the ball right back. We had a quick little dump off to Cook that Hamilton snuffed out. We then got ourselves a penalty that got us back to 2nd and 18.
Little flick play to Shakir was hot.
We got most of it back with that, and we're able to get at least a first down, and it felt like we had something moving, but we started so deep that we were still only at the 25 as that got going.
Weird where Ray Davis finally enters the game here. I thought that was weird where it's you haven't really used him a ton, and then all of a sudden he's the back and kind of a big spot. You need a score here. So we end up getting to 3rd and 8 at our own 29, and you can't go for it there. And we get Robin's first bad punt. It was 39 yards. I did think that 3rd and 8, this is where they got away with one on that Shakir. Hamilton came over, and it was it's probably questionable, and I might be leaning a little biased Bills because of where it was in the game and it happened. But that seemed beyond them making a play on the ball. He made a play on the body of Shakir.
And he got there again. I don't think Bang Bang is crazy, But he definitely got there a little bit early.
I thought so.
He was there a little bit early.
It was aggressive. It was an aggressive play. We got away with one. They got away with one. So I didn't make a big deal. We're fine.
Yeah, agreed. I think that was the right way to look at it. So, and then you're like, all right, well, that was kind of our chance to get back into it there. We finally got to stop. And if we could have come back and tied it there. And of course, that has to be right off the bat. We get the
Dorian got just
roasted. We get the 36-yarder to Zay Flowers, and then the 29-yard pass to Hopkins, which was just a ridiculously awesome catch. Like,
that was actually good coverage by Benford. Hopkins just does. That's what he has made a living doing forever. That insane hand catch of his. The 36-yarder is so frustrating because honestly, this is the stuff I was kind of talking about today with like, hey, there's going to be some uncomfortable learning with Dorian Strong coming in to help. And that was on display on this play of you got a bunch formation. Collinsworth said it. It's a loud stadium. And I don't think he knew he had Zay Flowers. And it was a full like 3 steps behind like, oh, that's my guy running totally wide open down the field. This is going to be some of having late round rookies that weren't ready to be thrusted. This isn't a Christian Benford situation where he like overwhelmingly played his way into the starting position. This was like, we're out of guys and you're up next on the depth chart. So tough position for the rookie to be in there.
Yeah. So we're now down 34-25 we're down 34-19.
Yeah.
Kind of feeling,
dread.
Inevitable.
Dread.
We're now getting into the fourth quarter. That was the end of the third quarter. We open up with a penalty on the return, which brings back to decent return by Codrington. Now we're starting at our own 16.
This is where Palmer had his first, where I was like, oh, there's Josh Palmer.
Hey, there's Josh Palmer. Correct.
Then the third quarter ends.
Yeah, then we get the 51-yarder where Cook is able to, really just break free out in space with a really nice block right off the bat, right at the beginning of the play. And Roquan Smith isn't able to get him down. He ends up breaking it across. And in a moment, I thought that Nate Wiggins made one of those Taylor Rapp 4-point tackles, but we end up being able to get it in. Josh scrambles for the touchdown. At this point here, now you got it to you're within 34-25, going for 2 makes sense there. It's early. You need to be able to do it. But now a lot of people are angry because now you're kind of like chasing and going after points. But it was the right decision. Like you know what you need earlier. You always want to have that information in hand. There's no increased odds to go for it later. It just makes you feel better because you're closer to it. But again, we kick it off to Baltimore and let them go right down the field, 4 plays, 65 yards. And this is where we get incomplete, feeling like we have some momentum. We get the pressure and we're about to sack Lamar Jackson for like another 15, 18-yard loss. Gregory Rousseau and Joey Bosa are there, and he just pulls a rabbit out of a hat and ends up not only not getting a 15 or 18-yard loss, a 19-yard gain, like a 35-yard swing of him getting away. And then boom, next play, Derrick Henry, where you get the bad angle for Taylor Rapp, and just Derrick Henry has a full head of steam and runs right by him.
Yeah, and it wasn't even just Rapp. There was just everybody looked like their feet were stuck in concrete.
I think that's a play where Lamar's previous play just kind of like everyone.
You're on your heels. You can't play on your heels, especially against guys like that. That's what they take advantage of. They ate it up. This is the most depressing, I think, part in the game. We're here at the 40-25 mark of just like, I don't want to do the post-game show. I'm so mad at everybody. Like, I'm going to rip apart everyone. Like, even the things I was ready to like take my full L on the safety room, because even the things that I liked about the safety room looked terrible. Like Taylor Rapp, I wasn't worried about. And now, like, God, are there 2 safeties out there that I can find? I don't like any of this right now.
One starting
safety.
The hell. So my moment was in 5 plays and 2 minutes 24 seconds from yours. We take the kickoff, we get a 9-yard pass, we get the first down real quick. Then it seems like Josh threw an interception, but it got rightfully overturned, that it did hit the ground. Josh then scrambles for 9 yards. We get a penalty that comes back on kind of a ticky-tacky end Dawkins holding penalty, but whatever. The officiating wasn't great tonight. Then Josh gets his 1 sack of the season, which was weird because you could see him about to throw the ball and he takes it, but like he knew the pressure was like Josh is usually really good at that.
Yeah.
That I'm very surprised that he tucked it back down and took the sack there, but got his only sack of the season.
Was that sorry, was that 2nd and 10 the slide where Allen
Yes.
did get the
where
first
it was a
down
9-yard run and it should have been a first down.
Yeah, that was another spot where it's like, dude, now how are we still not able to spot balls?
How is that one?
How are we still doing
that
it?
one not the autocorrect? Like
That's what I'm saying.
The replay assistant. How is that not the replay assistant?
The fact that we still can't just spot a ball with a chip drives me. He was looking at the mark and sliding, and we have all the evidence. I don't know. That stuff drives
correctly.
me.
He did it exactly right.
It drives me nuts because that totally changes this drive. If you just
because then you're at a first down. So even if you get that 10-yard penalty, instead of being 3rd and 11, it's 1st and 20.
Sure.
And like you're still totally fine, and you're at midfield and still doing what you need to do. And even if Josh takes that penalty, you're still talking about now 2nd and 25. Yeah. It's not great, but you have options and can do things. But instead, it's 4th and 16, and being down 15. We punt the ball back to them. And I get it. 4th and 16 is not great.
It's not good.
You're at your 37. There's no plays in the playbook for 4th and 16. But I was like, oh my God, we just had a surrender punt. Like, I can't believe we punted the ball back to them. And that was my low point of where I was,
vomiting in your hotel room.
Like, all right. I literally flipped my phone over on the hotel bed and was like, all right, I'll just kind of finish this out and then go talk to Aaron. I'm not taking any more notes.
Yeah, I think I started setting up my space. Like, in between commercials and stuff. Like, okay, maybe I'll do some dishes. I don't even know. Anger, rage, some dishes in between commercials at this point. Just trying to figure out what, like, I think that is the point where I made the tweet about saying, like, hey, remind me not to also let the offense off the hook in this game. Because, yes, they have scored 25, but it hasn't been pretty, and they've stalled out when I needed them most here, where like the defense has given you now a couple opportunities and they found ways to get some stops. And now, they're kind of bleeding out a little bit here and you're not doing anything to help them out. And that's just a tough spot to be with the offense, but holy miracles coming true. Should this entire thing be the drive of the game? Should we find doing it?
I think they can. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
This first
6.
one's a little wonky. It's a great drive, ends in a wonky. Like, we got away with one, but
there's 6 series here, 3 for each team that all have to go exactly like this for the Bills to be able to come back and win.
So we're in agreement. This is going to be our West Herr.
This entire stretch is the West Herr
incredible stretch we've never seen driving home
end of the game. Instead of the drive of the game, it's the West Herr end of the game.
We've never seen this before.
Oh my gosh! So it starts 9 minutes and 18 seconds.
What's the win probability at this rate?
This is where I think it
was 1%, right? Where
1.8%, I think was what Colin shared.
Fun.
So we get a 3-yard run, then a loss of 1 is feeling pretty good. Then they get a 5-yard penalty, and they get that quick little crosser to Zay Flowers, and he gets like 9 yards. And I was like, oh, what are they going to do? And I was waiting to see, are they going to go for it or what are they going to do here? And we get the stop. We get them to punt, and they punt the ball back. It's a really nice punt, but we get kind of lucky because they were about to down it at like the inch line. And instead they're, Josh Carino is saying that it was 0.9%.
I'm looking it up right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then their defender, like maybe the pinky of his glove touched it. I even thought the one replay kind of seemed like he hovered over it, but didn't actually touch. But I'll take it. I'm not going to turn it down. And the Bills come right back immediately with a shot to Keon Coleman. Josh scrambles for 6, then hits Palmer. We get incompletion, and they're not moving with a ton of urgency. In my head, I'm like, all right, the game's not technically over, but like I get it. Everybody's kind of deflated. You guys should probably be going no huddle a little bit
It's
more.
the pace of an MVP. Just let him do his thing.
He knew exactly what he was doing the
Let
whole
him
time.
cook. Yeah.
We then did get DPI on Keon. Then Josh hits Kincaid. We take a shot to Palmer, and then Ty almost hits the wheel route for the touchdown. But instead we get a pass to Palmer,
tipped right
and then
off the
we
finger
get
there.
the touchdown to Keon Coleman
Off
of
the deflection.
So again, it starts with a pinky hanging over the end line that gets us out to the 20 instead of from a 99-yard drive. And then we get a tip ball going into the end zone, and Keon catches it off the deflection.
After a touchdown just went off the fingertips of Ty Johnson, like a ball that couldn't have been thrown any better. Right.
Correct. And the Ty made that catch all year last year.
Yes, correct. Wonky drive, but kind of indicative of the game, right? Like it's a microcosm of this game in a sense. Like they didn't deserve to get within a score here, but there they are, and they're within a score. And now, hey, now what can we do? Can we get a stop?
Yeah.
Sure. Why not?
So now we go back, and it's like, all right, well, it doesn't matter. We haven't really been able to consistently stop them. And of course, right off the bat, Lamar pulls it out. Leap goes right around the edge. I think Epinesa was in on that one. Once again, one of our defensive ends bit on the read option. It's impossible.
You're
and they even joked about like, hey, that guy had they had motion going in front of there, then reading the running back, and Lamar.
It's like a game of
it.
Saw. That movie Saw. Like there's no good choice.
No good option. Yes. No good choice. On the next one, Ed Oliver again blows through the line of scrimmage, takes the lineman with him. Rosengardner almost puts him in the lap, and then immediately goes at the ball for Derrick Henry instead of attacking Henry and his body. Rips the ball away. Terrell Bernard jumps on it, and I immediately sit up and was like, "Oh my god,
they got the ball at the 30. We have the ball.
We actually have a chance here."
My kids are dead asleep upstairs. I have a small house, and I really had to contain myself from waking them all up with the scream. Just like this, you couldn't script it better for this play. And honestly, it couldn't happen to a better guy. Ed Oliver has been kind of dragged by this fan base on and off here through the season. So for him to come out and have the type of game that he put together tonight, it's got to make people very excited because you need it from him. But this was maybe the biggest play Ed Oliver's made. Okay, it's got to be up there.
Yeah. Shout out to our friend Bruce Nolan. Producer Cowan found his tweet right after this. When you get a big turnover like that, you just got to go deep to your blocking tight end.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's his thing. Explosive plays late in games can be Spencer
If it
Hawes.
is like, hey, take a deep shot to the last guy they'd be expecting, you were right. That is the last guy they'd be expecting because on the first play.
We all thought it was Dawson Knox, though, right?
Yes, correct.
Right.
First play, seam route to Dawson Knox. Wait a minute. Is that 85?
Yeah.
Wait, Jackson Hawes on a seam route in pretty tight coverage, but he boxes out, bobbles it, and triple catches the ball. I think it took him 3 attempts to catch it. Josh tried to hurry up and run a no huddle, which is smart because they were kind of discombobulated, and the tush push gets stifled and doesn't gain any yards. Then they try to do a handoff to Cook that stops it at the goal line again, goes to the 2-minute warning, and then Josh does the leap over where he puts it in there. We score, but now we need the 2-point conversion, and they do the play like they did against Seattle, and just try to do the jump ball to Keon Coleman, which again, I don't like. I talked about this preseason, and I want to be consistent about it. I don't want to just go to our number one thing all the time. I want to try other things and build in other options. I can't imagine that on a guy. I don't mind that at all on 1st and goal from the 3. I don't mind that as a inside the 5 play. We want to be able to have that. That is not a high probability gotta have it play. So I'd love to see something else in the repertoire.
Yeah, I don't know what Josh saw on the play. It looked like there's 2 sides of the field in play. On the play, you had Shakir, and I think it was Ty Johnson, or maybe Shakir and Cook off to the other side of the field, and that looked cleared out to me for whatever action that was. That's one that I flagged to go back and look for, because that is another spot. I actually oddly found myself being like, man, Chris Collinsworth's right when he was talking tonight, which felt gross. I didn't like the way that felt either, but he talked about, this is a play that you've practiced a lot. This is one of your best plays that you're pulling out in this moment. You need the two. You're like, this is a highly practiced play that you have, and for it to be that in that situation didn't feel great for me. Greg, I tweeted out at one point when they actually ran it earlier in the red zone and scored a touchdown off of it, is every time they're in the red zone, I don't care what down it is, I need to see a play where it's a Josh Allen play action roll out in space,
Josh with the option to throw or run,
where you're just putting defenders in conflict. Come up and tackle me, and I'm just going to dump it off to Knox, Kincaid, insert whoever, Keon, but I'm going to put you in conflict to make a linebacker or a cornerback make a decision of coming up to tackle me or letting me just dump it over your head, because I'm going to take those odds 80% of the time that the Bills are going to score in that situation. Any red zone goal line situation that doesn't have one of those plays in it pisses me off, and that should be, in my opinion, the go-to play, is getting Josh Allen moving and forcing defenders to make conflict decisions.
Layered flood, roll out 3 different layers.
Maybe I'm oversimplifying it, but if I'm defensive coordinator, I don't want to make those decisions and put my players in conflict like that.
Correct.
Yeah.
So now we're in a spot where, okay, the Bills didn't actually have to use any of their timeouts. So we now are down to, but we have to kick the ball back to Baltimore. All right, well, I guess there's still a chance, but if they get 1 first down, we're done. Like, they cannot get a first down. I think in this spot, the biggest question for them is on first down is where what they should have done is tested us again on the read option. How did they not test our discipline on the read option and put it in Lamar's hands to choose, hey, are you going to bite on Derrick Henry, or are you going to let me pull it and run for it?
Bleed a timeout out of us.
Like, how is that
yards.
not the first play? So instead, it's just a pretty straight handoff to Derrick Henry. He gets 1 yard. We take a timeout. Then we get like a weird little like jet sweep kind of to Zay Flowers.
Jet action. Milano does a great job there in space.
Milano does an awesome job. Zay kind of gives up on the play early.
Yeah.
Like, I thought he probably could have cut back in and probably would have just got tackled and carried forward for like 2 yards. But whatever, ends up gaining none.
Sure.
It now goes to 3rd and 9. And now you're in a really weird spot because we've taken another timeout. And now you're in a spot of, okay, it's 3rd and 9.
Yeah.
Are you going to try to convert and take a chance to have an incompletion where no more time runs off the clock? Or
and the Bills are in field goal range there, right?
Well, this is still 3rd and 9, but they're at their own 32. And you're not.
Yeah, but if you get a sack or something,
you're still definitively back there. So even if you got a sack and like a punt, you might only be barely over midfield. So they do decide to throw, which I respect. They don't just do a give up handoff. Yeah. They let Lamar throw it. He gets like a pretty short play to DeAndre Hopkins. He gets 6 yards, and this is where we talked about early in the show. It's 4th and 3, and I am begging them to bring the punter onto the field.
Correct.
I know the benefit of going for it, and we get the ball immediately in field goal range, but I am begging for them to punt the ball.
Yeah,
and
let Josh try.
If we're in this spot, like, I want to end the game. I want to end the game, and just if you get 3 yards, you win. It's a kneel out. It's game over. I want to trust that my guy can get 3 yards. Instead, they punt us back the ball. It goes out of bounds at the 20, and we now have a minute 26 with no timeouts and 80 yards away. But we need, you probably needed 45 to be able to get yourself in any reasonable position. If you got 45 yards, that would have been a 52-yarder. And at Matt Prater's age, that's probably as good as we were going to get from him.
But for a minute there on this drive, to your point earlier, where it felt like they weren't moving quick enough, you're moving, right? You get the 6-yarder, the 8-yarder, the 5-yarder. It felt like at that pace until you got the explosive that you did end up getting on this drive, like it was almost unsustainable, especially without the timeouts that you were going to be able to get in range without that clock ticking down. Get that 32-yarder to Palmer, Greg, was like, I mean, one of the plays of the game here.
Yeah. So we get a couple short ones. Shakir for 6. We're then kind of running hurry up. Coleman gets 8 yards, but gets
right on the sideline, stops the clock.
That one's helpful. We then get Josh scrambles and gets out of bounds for 5. And I even think probably got a favorable whistle there. I kind of think Roquan Smith did move him backwards a little bit.
Well, I was going to say, Collinsworth brought up a good point, though, of the body type. Probably helped Allen to at least make it look like nobody was going to call it. No, he didn't hit him backwards. Where other guys, it would have looked more.
For sure.
He got hit backwards, and that's a time saver right here for the Bills.
Yeah. Then Josh did notice something and try to make a last minute call and get Dion to get, he did it. Like you could tell he noticed something
right up. Yeah.
I don't even blame him for that. But then when we come back, this is where Palmer has pretty good coverage from Jair Alexander, but he gets a step on him and Josh puts an absolutely perfect laser right over top. We get the 32-yarder. He gets out of bounds. We're now all of a sudden at the Baltimore 34, and we're in field goal range. And now it's like, oh my god! Like I'm trying
everything
to get
changes.
My head about me. Like what does this mean? What are we doing? I know Baltimore has their timeouts here, and now
honestly, this actually was a benefit.
Yes, Keon Coleman is running in the. In reality, I think Baltimore should have let him score.
You let him score. Yeah.
When they tripped him up here, and he would have. I mean,
he would have scored. Yeah,
he would have scored. Like we were losing, he would have ran in and scored. It would have put us up probably by 5 because we would have just kicked extra, or we would have gone for 2. I guess it technically
with a minute, 4 almost 6. A full minute left. Whatever. 40 something seconds, right?
Yeah, they would have been able. It would have been with 38 seconds.
38 seconds. Okay.
So if they say 35 seconds, we would have scored, but they would have got the ball back
3
with
timeouts.
Yeah, with all 3 timeouts.
Yes.
So instead, we're there and smart. This is picture perfect clock management. They did it just right, and they realized, oh my god, we have them. Like this is when like a high end chess player sees
the.
Oh my god, I have checkmate.
There's nothing they can do.
Like I know it's. Whatever,
3
moves
out.
away.
Yeah,
it's 6 moves away, but I've got checkmate.
Yeah.
And they take the knee for Josh, take the knee again. They burn the last time out, and now you have to get the scramble drill, and not quite as impressive as KC's, which was ridiculous at the end of that game in Brazil. Like one of the most impressive ones I've ever seen.
Very impressive.
But we won and they lost, so we get credit for the better one.
Yep.
We take a knee, they scramble in. Matt Prater ends up perfect on his Buffalo Bills debut. He ends up 2 for 2 on extra points, 3 for 3 on field goals, including a game-winning walk-off 32-yard field goal. I cannot believe it. And you want to know how I know that I can't believe it? Because someone in the lovely Twitter environment found the coincidence of my last 2 tweets, because I told you I kind of gave up of how things were going. So my final 2 things that I posted today were and a surrender punt, fitting for tonight's performance, followed by we're winning the effing Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean that's football.
That was me flipping my phone over at the point of the surrender punt, and just kind of out of superstition, I did not touch it again until after he made the field goal. And just sat there and watched the last stretch without taking any more notes. And that was my experience in my stretch there.
It was an awful stretch of anxiety for me here this night, but ended in just total pleasure. And so shout out to West Herr here for the coolest drives of a game that I've seen in a long time. It's fun to be on the other side of one of these crazy games, especially week 1. What a way for the NFL to kind of kick off the primetime schedule here with a epic heavyweight fight like this, and for it to end like this with this drive of the game. Shout out for West Herr for getting a couple extra drives here in the sponsorship segment. So shout out West Herr. We love you guys.
Yeah, appreciate it. To wrap things up here, producer Colin, I'm going to have you come up here. You found a couple of really good nuggets here for us as we wrap up. So I'm going to pull up producer Colin. You found a really cool one with some former reigning MVPs. Some pretty cool stats that you found there. Share with the folks what you found on that one.
Yes, reigning MVPs with 4+ touchdowns in week 1 following their MVP season includes another former Bill, Thurman Thomas versus the Rams in 1992. Also, Brett Favre versus the Buccaneers in 1996, and Tom Brady versus the Dolphins in 2011. And now Josh Allen against the Baltimore Ravens in 2025.
Josh also broke some history here with a rushing and passing combination.
Yes, this is Josh's 5th game with at least 300 passing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns, which is the most in NFL history. He also obviously scored his 66th career rushing touchdown, which is now the Bills' franchise record, passing Thurman Thomas.
Crazy. He's a quarterback, and he has the most rushing. And we have a franchise with O.J. Simpson and Thurman Thomas in our franchise history. And Josh Allen has the most rushing touchdowns. It's absolutely insane.
It's tough for my guy Pat that doesn't want to admit that Josh Allen's the best Buffalo Bill player ever. Yeah. I might not get you. You're an old guy like Pat. You might still get me on Bruce, but
no. Josh is going to be. Bruce still is, but Josh is going to be.
Well, we'll save this for the offseason, but right now you're gonna have a hard time.
Once he wins the Super Bowl,
all these statistics come out every single week. Josh Allen plays where it's like he's the first player ever. First quarterback and do all these things.
Yeah.
And one final one here. I was going to say, I have another Josh Allen stat for you. He had 251 passing yards in the 4th quarter, which was the most in any quarter of his career.
Yeah, it was so clutch.
251 in the 4th quarter. That's so crazy.
A super clutch moment. I mean, this might have capped off a back-to-back MVP.
And I will say, that was not an accident that Chris Collinsworth said it that way at the end, because he obviously knows there's a lot of Baltimore fans who feel very strongly that by all means, we would have felt the same way. Lamar 100%. Had an MVP caliber season last year. It was very intentional that he ended that broadcast with, is there any question who the MVP of the league is after watching that?
Yeah.
Because there's not. Josh Allen is the most valuable player in the NFL. One final one here, Colin. You found a note from Lamar when we were saying how petrified we were that they were going to go for it at the end. What did you find out about why they did?
Yeah, I was petrified too. I thought for sure they'd be aggressive and go for it. We've seen him do that in the past before. Lamar in his postgame interview said he was cramping. There were some shots of him on the sideline wincing in pain. There were some athletic trainers attending to him. He said he was cramping. Otherwise, he would have pushed head coach John Harbaugh to go for it on 4th and 3 in Ravens territory late in the game.
I give myself full credit. I want to go back and find the text that I sent in my group chat at halftime when we were joking about the 15-yard loss took it from 11.7 yards per carry to 10. I was joking. I was like, we're trying to lull them into a false sense of security. They're going to run so much that at the end of the game, they're going to be tired, and it's going to end up paying off for us. And I only thought I was kidding. It ended up being real. Lamar ran around so much that he ended up cramping and being tired by the end.
We had him right where we wanted him, Craig.
That's right. That's right. But it is a good reminder this time of year, too, for some of the bad things we saw. These guys are still getting into – this was a big boy playoff game to come out right out of the gate and play. And it probably took a big toll on all of these. These are elite athletes. For Lamar to be cramping and exerting himself in that way week 1.
Ron thought maybe he had to go to the bathroom again.
That's right. Poop gate.
All right, guys.
Did we have any super chats that we missed? Did we get through all the super chats? I don't want to leave anyone hanging here. I don't remember where we left off here.
Yeah, Derrick sent us. I waited all day for Sunday night. It was so worth it. Love you guys.
Thank you, Derrick.
Zach with a great one here. Best part, no injuries.
Not anything that. Yeah.
I will say the one shot at the end when Prater took his helmet off and the back of his hair was a little. Why I wasn't quite sure what he was looking real 41 in that.
I was gonna say it makes me feel good because I'm 41 and I don't know. He might be more handsome than me, but I definitely still look younger than him.
Yeah,
he looked like an old 41. It made me feel good about my
41-year-old in that moment.
Yeah. I'll say my brother and I just saw Nobody 2 in theaters last week, and that's also with Bob Odenkirk. And I had the same exact thought when it cut.
It looked just like him. Yeah.
Chris M here saying, are the Bills 2-0 after beating the Ravens and the refs? There were some bad ones in both directions. We did get the short end of the stick on a couple there.
Yeah.
Eric encouraging us to use the shed. Jacques just saying he loves the show. We appreciate you guys. One last one here. That was simultaneously the best 5 minutes and the worst 55 minutes of Bills football I've ever seen. It's pretty close.
That's a great way to sum that up.
Pretty close. And then Patton here, J17 took that punt personally. Yeah, it was pretty incredible.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys so much. You guys are very generous in the super chats. We appreciate it.
Super generous. Before, I had a friend text me right before the game and said, who scores tonight, Greg? He's looking for betting advice. And I said, Keon, Cook, and Allen.
It's fantastic.
I should be giving betting advice. I don't give any. I stay away from betting, but man, maybe I should. Anyways, what a fun night, guys.
Oh my God. I gotta go.
Colin, welcome to the postgame show.
Yeah, Colin. They're all just like this. They're all exactly like this. This is exactly
hopefully at least 13 of them. Maybe not just
at least 13.
Well, maybe we have some more blowouts mixed in.
A handful more. So we will be back with you guys on Wednesday night previewing the Jets, who have a normal game next week with a Sunday 1:00 game, thankfully. So we will see you guys at regular time next week, and we'll be on with Colin on Wednesday night at 9:00.
Connor Rogers, our good friend that comes on to talk Jets with us every season. I know he's
excited.
Watch him on
Fantasy Happy Hour with Matthew Berry. Is on the show all the time. Does a fantastic job. Excited to see Colin.
I'm shocked he still gives us the time of day to come on our show. I appreciate it from him. But honestly, this is going to be a game. Like, we're excited now, and I'm going to enjoy this win and all the memes and the fun stuff here for the next 24 hours. But there were some problems that stood out to me in this game that are now making me nervously kind of like frustrated about playing the Jets and Breece Hall and like some.
It's weird.
Yeah, I don't want to deal with some of that right now. Colin on a win streak. Yeah, we got to keep Colin around because the Bills won. There you go. We're on a win streak.
1-0.
But those Jets worries are for another show this week. So make sure you come check us out Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be a fun one.
It's going to be fantastic. On behalf of our fantastic sponsors, we appreciate everybody over at Southern Tier, at William Mattar, over at West Herr, just fantastic people to work with. Our awesome producer, Colin Ritchie, my co-host, Aaron Quinn. I am Greg Tompsett. You have been listening to Cover One Buffalo, and we are out.